Hello and welcome to Teesside Autodrome. We are 2 minutes away from our Saturday qualifying session here. We're going to have Bambino's Honda Cadet and Inter.
And then, obviously, as I've recently announced on social media, I am now a part of the Road to the Nürburgring, which has been recently launched by Reslide with Dragon Sport by TSK-Motorsport. So, which is basically where we get to do some C1 endurance racing this year. We were originally going to do our first race next month, which was our Anglesey for the 24-hour race, which would definitely have been a whole.
And I'm going to have a quick look at the line. I'm going to have a quick look at the line.
Oliver Bullock now back out ahead of the timing.
in the first couple of laps, he fell away a little bit, found 2 more tenths, he jumped back to the top of the timing. This is the same thing as it was before. You see whether do anything to rescue it back. But everybody now is sort of in that clear air. You definitely won't see that in 10 minutes. Yeah. You won't see that in 10 minutes time when Honda Cadet are out. The 27 of them, they're lapping in the 47. So they're going to struggle to find their sort of lap time. for heat 1, then heats 2 and 3 will be set by the finishing positions of the qualifying session of the first and second heats respectively. Sullivan Crawford plunging through, and Tommy McGoy will be on pole position for qualifying tomorrow for the first heat. Ron Talley, Tennant Oliver, Hullet and Coxbury, Derek Crawford, Sullivan Crawford, Stevie Rogers and Charlie Swift. Honda Cadet make their way out into the first heat at Teesside. Can you hit the PA room? Over that and say tech, which is not picking up on the... That's what I'm trying to work out. Like, you know, if you were trying to watch a dodgy video or watching a fan copy, that's what that sounds like. Testing 1, 2. I didn't say that. Good. Can I just have my screen back?
Hello and welcome back. Hopefully you can hear us. For those of you that like to hear my voice, for those of you that prefer to hear Gracie's voice.
Hello.
Good. There we go. We are sorted. 10 minutes of qualifying. Honda Cadet are out. We're just waiting for the timer to start counting down. We've got drivers off. One stopped on the outside of the chicane. I think that is the number 63 machine, is it? No, he's going. I think he was just waiting for all of the traffic to disappear in the 36 so that he can have a clear run at things. Henry Colborne this time is the driver that, and we always see this, that hangs back to try and get that extra bit of gap. Joshua Sullivan, the current champion here at Teesside, will set the first time if he manages to make it round nicely for the first time. He's crossed the line, he's commenced his lap. In front of him though, joining the session late, is Morgan Cooney in the 60, and he's gone straight on and off the track at hairpin number 1, understeered wide, and he is off the track. You'll just about see him to the left of where we are on that camera. He is rejoining, but a bit of a moment there for Morgan Cooney on his outlap. Yellow flags at hairpin 1. And we've got a driver off at South Bank as well. That looks like it could be Sebastian McCarthy. But as they come through, Joshua Sullivan will set that first benchmark time as he heads towards start finish in the timing line for the first time. We'll let everybody run through and then Gracie can take us through the top 10.
How do you pronounce?
That's Luka Bachuev, who's set the fastest lap so far. He's gone very, very early. He's 8 tenths up on anybody on that first lap. That suggests maybe he's gone high on tyre pressures. So we've got... We'll see if anybody can pit Luka Bachuev. We're just waiting for Henry Colborne. He's come through, and then drivers that had problems on the opening lap. So top 10 as it stands, Gracie.
So currently in pole position after the first lap is Luka Bachuev, and then Joshua Sullivan has just come through on his second lap and has moved up to second place. However, Luka has not been overtaken yet and of pole position. Rocco Geraghty has now moved up into third place. Fourth, Dexter Petty. Fifth, Noah Clark. Sixth, Tom Nichols. Seventh, Peter Webster. Eighth, Hugo McCluskey. Ninth, Scarlett Whitaker-Dunn. 10th, which has just changed.
That's because he's just jumped to the top of the pile.
He has.
Max
Taddy has now took pole position away from Luka.
48.1, our final winner from round number 1. Max Taddy sets the fastest lap. He's got a bit of clear air in front of him as well, and he looks like he's dragging Aaron Berridge along for the ride. He's gone up into P3. Sullivan crosses the line this time round, improves personally, but not on those in front. Track considerably slower than what it was in practice earlier on. Drivers at the front were setting 47.8s earlier, and even in official practice we had Max Taddy and Luka Bachuev in the 47s. So we're going to wait and see whether anybody's sort of gone long by going for a lower tyre pressure. The problem that they've got, first, particularly for them front runners, is Joshua Sullivan is out on his own at the front. He's got no tow and nobody to help him down that back straight. However, our front runners, in terms of Taddy and Aaron Berridge, the top 2, are currently negotiating their way through some traffic at the moment, so this lap won't be quick for them. But everybody down to 16th on the last lap, last time round, set personal bests. Drivers in the 47s now though, Gracie.
It's all seems to be very close between the top 8 only separated by 6 tenths and the top 3 separated by less than 2 tenths. Yep. Very similar to the Bambinos with the top 3. It's definitely going to be very close this weekend in this class as well.
Max Taddy, Aaron Berridge, Joshua Sullivan, the only drivers so far dropping into the 47s, and there's a gap of 2 tenths back to Luka Bachuev. But Taddy and Berridge were stuck in traffic on the previous lap, and Sullivan is on his own at the front. So he's doing this on his own. Berridge and Taddy working together, but have now found their way through. No improvement that time for Sullivan. Almost an identical time, but Luka Bachuev has jumped up into P2. Hugo McCluskey and Scarlett Whitaker-Dunn, they improve as well. Not even halfway into this qualifying session yet. So it'll be interesting to see if anybody's got a bit of pace left in the bag. Particularly those drivers that have got drivers in front of them to work with. You see Max Taddy set a 52nd lap on the previous tour round here, and I do get the feeling he's just easing off and waiting for somebody to work with. He's just had a quick look over his shoulder to the left hand side as Joshua Sullivan crossed the start finish line. Sullivan's around about 20 seconds behind him, but there's only 2 more drivers, and I don't know. I think Taddy could hit, but that's oh, look at the last time, Gracie, from Luca Baccio at 47.522. That's as fast as we've seen around here all day.
I think he's definitely starting to extend that gap between first and second place. Obviously, Max Taddy hasn't made an improvement yet.
0.3 of a second is the gap. Taddy now has just found clean air, basically. He wasn't waiting for Sullivan, as we thought he may well have been. Sullivan will cross the line this time. Doesn't look like he's going to improve, and doesn't. He's still half a second off Luca Baccio in the 2. He's in a bit of a train at the minute with the 74 of Tom Nichols. He's currently in P12, and Dexter Petty, who is in 13th in the number 16 machine. Personal bests for Hugo McCluskey and Morgan Cooney the last time round. Cooney just about crossing the line with a 14.8. So how many drivers? Still got 4 drivers in the 47s. Taddy doesn't improve last time round, but was quick in the 47s once again.
I feel like Joshua Sullivan is probably in the best position for this qualifying, as with him being in full clear air, it is very unlikely that he is going to have to deal with any traffic, whereas I feel like the others, like Max Taddy, obviously has probably had to drop off in order to prevent having traffic on some of his later laps when his tyres do come in.
Yeah, Sullivan on screen at the moment. So we see him down the back straight. Improved on the previous lap with a 47.915. He was doing 47.7s earlier on in practice, so can go quicker, but needs to find nearly half a second. An impressive time so far from Luca Baccio with that 47.522 on lap number 6. Has been down in the 48s ever since though, so hasn't really capitalised and gone any quicker. Don't know whether he's just gone higher on tyre pressures early on. Sullivan with an identical lap time that time round with a 47.519 is his fastest time, and that's the second time that he's done that lap time. 2 identical lap times for the driver of the 13. Improvement for Tom Nichols, he jumps up inside the top 10, P6, so with 2.5 minutes remaining, Baccio, Taddy and Sullivan your top 3, Aaron Berridge, Hugo McCluskey and Tom Nichols in front of Morgan Cooney, Rocco Geraghty, Noah Clark and Ollie Carter, rounding out the top 10 as it stands. Some improvements further down the order though, Gracie.
Yes, we've got some really great time improvements from specifically Sebastian McCarthy as well as Tom Nichols up in 6th. I think with Max Taddy, I don't really feel as though he is going to be able to quite improve the time just enough to get ahead of Luca, as he has having to deal with a bit of traffic. As you can see, coming around South Bank now, he will soon have to overtake the car in front. Not quite sure who that is, but hopefully we can get a look as they come round into our view.
55 of Ollie Crumpton is just in front of him. And Taddy might get lucky here, might just be able to use him for a bit of slipstream up and over the start-finish this time round.
Yeah, he'd ideally want to try and get past him into the chicane, otherwise he is going to now be
and does improve
prevented.
As well. 47.638 for Max Taddy, so did use that slipstream on the previous lap over start-finish. We saw him in front of us have a little bit of a nudge through, use the slipstream and finds an extra couple of tenths. Looks like Sullivan did encounter traffic on that previous lap, so has caught some people up towards the end, but so far has had a fairly trouble-free run. Hugo McCluskey, though, with a time that puts him up into 3rd place right at the end of this session. 45 seconds remaining and a 47.7 for Hugo McCluskey puts him on the inside of the 2nd row provisionally as it stands.
Now any car that crosses the line now, it will be their final lap for this qualifying. So hopefully they can just try and squeeze a few more tenths out of it to try and get as close up to the pole position. Luka Bachuev, followed by Max Taddy, Hugo McCluskey, Joshua Sullivan, in ahead of Aaron Berridge, Tom Nichols, Morgan Cooney, Rocco Geraghty, Noah Clark and Ollie Carter, who are currently our top 10 runners going into the final lap now of qualifying for the Honda Cadets.
5 seconds to go, so we're going to get the checkered flag now. The first driver to set the final time is the 21 of Jensen Whitehead. He's going to qualify 23rd at best as he sees the checkered flag. Aaron Berridge, who was on the front row provisionally earlier on, no improvement for him. He goes P5. Max Taddy, with traffic in front on that last lap, has gone into second place. So we're going to need big jumps from Hugo McCluskey and Joshua Sullivan. They're going to need 2 or 3 tenths each. Sullivan's got some traffic in front of him. He's going to go wide around the outside. And there's no improvement for the 13. He'll start P4. Luka Bachuev, we wait for Hugo McCluskey. He's had to try and go round the outside as well. So we're going to need even bigger jumps for drivers on the periphery of the top 8 or 9 at the moment. We wait, there's 5 more runners to come through to take the checkered flag. Nobody improving on the final lap of qualifying as the final 2 runners take the checkered flag. And it will be Luka Bachuev, who did indeed qualify on pole here at round 1 and then was removed from them standings for being half a kilo underweight. Will redeem himself somewhat by qualifying on pole position at round number 2 here. Max Taddy will start alongside him on the front row with Hugo McCluskey and Joshua Sullivan on row 2, Aaron Berridge and Tom Nichols on row number 3, with Morgan Cooney, Rocco Geraghty, Noah Clark and Ollie Carter rounding out the top 10, in front of Peter Webster and Scarlett Whittaker-Dunn. Then it's Dexter Petty in P13, Henry Colborne in P14. Then we've got Sebastian McCarthy, Ollie Crumpton, Piers Whitehead, Sam Dixon, Ethan Pearson and Tristan Gilfillan rounding out the top 20. Isaac Welburn on debut will start 21st with Jake rolled off the dummy grid, off the weigh scale, and then Inters rolling out onto track. Grayson Crawford in the 22, the first one out. We've got 6 runners.
Oh, we've had a spinner, hairpin 1.
The 99 has had an excursion. Now we've got 7 runners out on track. We'll have 8 racing tomorrow, as Thomas Harper, a name that we've seen in our Honda Cadet class, will be on track into Rotax for the first time tomorrow. Took delivery of his new Project 1 chassis in the week and will race for the first time tomorrow, but will not set a time in qualifying. The main reason for that being his dad's racing his Jaguar at Alton Park today. So you've had Going Fun Cup. You're doing C1 this year.
Yeah.
That's a massive Jaguar sound. The car
Sounds good.
The car, not
I
the
think we'd all love to be at Alton Park racing a Jaguar right now.
You've done Alton this year already, haven't you?
Yes,
Yeah,
first round of Fun Cup actually, a couple of weeks ago. Then obviously next week we've got the second round at Croft, which is fairly local to myself, even though I've never driven there. So it's going to be something new.
Quick track Croft as well. I went there touring
Yeah.
a few years back. And it was a really, really nice track. Alton as well. I went there for British GT last year as we've just got a slow mover going round hairpin number 3.
Yeah, I think that was Ava Reynolds just had a bit of a spin on hairpin 3. However, she has got going again, so that lap won't be too great.
Yeah, has picked up a warning as well for contact, so I imagine that spin wasn't entirely on one's own. Grayson Crawford, though, sets the benchmark time, immediately eclipsed by the late entering the track Joey Swan, who's the final driver to set the time, and he is 1.1 seconds quicker than everybody else. Joey Swan, who, by his own accounts, sort of struggled a little bit in Honda Cadet, and now he's moved up into Rotax, that additional amount of grip. He just grew into it at round number 1, got quicker and quicker and quicker throughout the day, and currently has a gap of 1.1 seconds. At the top, Grayson Crawford then goes a little bit quicker, dips into the high 45s as he now gets his tyres up to temperature, but Swan is some 30 seconds behind him on track. He will cross the line in a few moments' time and we'll see whether he goes any quicker. Indeed he does, and finds another half a second. So, as it stands, we've got Joey Swan and Grayson Crawford, Freddie Ellingham, another new name to the championship in P3 at the moment, with Ava Reynolds, Lewis Smith, William Collinson in P7. Driver in P6 is not picking up in terms of name, just transponder number at the moment, so I'm going to try and figure out who that is. That's the 99 car, isn't it? Is that River Bell, I think, in the 99. Currently making their way out of hairpin number 4 towards start finish. And,
Ava Reynolds moves up to P2 within 3/10 of first place. However, Joey Swan has just put in another great lap, making up more time, and is now nearly half a second faster than the entire field.
it's quite interesting this, with Swan being off the back. Everybody sort of improves, and then we're waiting for Swan to come through to try and improve more. But everybody in the first 2 or 3 minutes has set personal best, gone faster and faster, because as these tyres come up to temperature. So, and there Grayson Crawford, the first driver really not to set a personal best, in 4th place. And now things are starting to plateau a little bit in terms of timing. Nobody setting personal best. We're waiting for River Bell, who
Joey
does
Swan
set
coming
a
off.
personal best. William Collinson, actually, sorry, who sets the personal best and jumps up to P2.
And takes a 10th towards Joey Swan, who is now only 3/10 ahead of P2 William Collinson.
Yeah, so Joey Swan with the benchmark time so far, 45.0201. 3/10 quicker than William Collinson in 2nd place, but William Collinson on screen there in the blue
74.
colours with the, is that turquoise, is it mint?
Yeah, like a
Accents on
turquoise.
it?
Yeah.
I don't know, it could just be light blue, it could just be the camera colouring, but he's currently being slowed down at the minute. I think he either needs to find a way through quickly or drop away. We're going to sort the argument out. Sky blue.
Sky blue.
Sky blue.
Is it sky? I don't think this is going to be an effective lap here, as he is having to deal with a bit of traffic, which is is it number 99?
Yeah, I think that's
Yes.
River Bell in front, and William Collinson will either, we've seen that he's
Oh
got
yeah,
the pace, but
the transponder's picked up now. We can
we've
see.
added the name. That's wonderful. So I think now it's going to be Joey Swan now, who's going to try and close up onto the back and try and use a bit of slipstream. You'll see him come into shot briefly there in the background as we follow the 99 and the 74. But Collinson here, who's still fairly new to karting, probably around about this time last year we saw him for the first time, and now he's found a way through. I think this time round he could have a bit of a cleaner run of things, and we'll expect next time round that he can potentially put in a personal best, could William Collinson, now that he's got some clear track. Either needed to find a way through there, Grace, or needed to drop back slightly to create that gap and then chase down once again. We saw Max Taddy use it to great effect in the last session, where he dropped back and then caught a driver just coming out of hairpin 4 perfectly and used that slipstream up and over start finish. Yes, you compromise your next lap, but as we saw him, that was his qualifying lap in terms of fastest time for P2. and used the other driver in front of him at the time. We've had personal bests further down the order from Lewis Smith and River Bell. We're going to wait for William Collinson to see whether he has indeed used that clear area in front of him to improve.
I think luckily, obviously, we are nearly sub 4 minutes of this qualifying session for the Rotax class. I think Joey Swan, luckily, he'll need to try and get past number 99, as otherwise he will not be able to get a bit more clean air and hopefully try and increase the gap that he currently has.
He's had a bit of a spin though at hairpin number 2, so this lap's going to be completely off. What it has done though,
it has given him a gap, so it's probably been worked in hand.
He's done himself a favour there. He could have just slowed down the back straight, but Joey likes to do it in style. He's had a spin at hairpin number 2 to create the gap to the karts in front of him.
I think he'd either want that or to use River Bell's toe just over the start and finish, really, because I feel like at this track, with the toe from a slightly slower driver, is only really beneficial if on the straight or start and finish, as you'd want to get past them on the straight, otherwise they'll just hold up the rest of the lap.
Yeah, we see it a lot, don't we? Down the back straight, and then you pop out at the last minute and you've used them down the back straight towards hairpin number 2. But Collinson seemed very, very tight then around hairpin 2 out the commentary box. I'm not expecting this lap to be an improvement.
We've got another personal best from Freddie Ellingham, who's still sitting in P4 with only half a second behind our pole position sitter at the moment, Joey Swan.
So the top 4 split by less than half a second. Grayson Crawford not too far back. No improvements this time for Ellingham or Lewis Smith, who are pretty much nose to tail. I'm going to wait for Joey Swan this time. Has he found an improvement? No, but he's only
a few hundredths off. It's quite consistent, isn't he?
Yeah, he's getting quicker. And we don't often see that. We've not really seen many personal bests, particularly for the top 3, since the first 4 minutes of this session. And that's just because the tyres sort of get up to temperature, and then they normally get 2 laps where they're absolutely spot on.
Then they just start to drop off a bit, don't they?
So they sort of have to find where it is. A lot of them will go slightly early, get them tyres switched on, because they are quite, even the drivers, the Inter-Rotax class is for drivers from 10 to 13 years old, but a lot of them are very young here at Teesside, really starting out in their Inter journey. Joey Swan, William Collinson, currently the top 2, are at the younger end of the scale for Inter-Rotax. So, but we've had a new personal best at the top, and what a lap it was from Joey Swan. He's added 2 more tenths to his pole time, and he's heading towards the 44s, a 45.071 for Joey Swan. So just as we were saying, we don't normally see personal bests.
And we just have,
session. Joey has ruined that completely for us both.
I think if Joey Swan keeps up the pace and the improvements that he is making in this qualifying session, I can imagine that he is probably going to get pole position by a comfortable amount.
Mechanical flag in the hand, though, of one of our marshals. We're going to wait, because that car may, depending on where they are in times, if they're brought in under a non-compliance, they may have their times removed, unfortunately. We'll see. He's still holding it. And we've got a driver who's lost a little bit of power. I think it's the 23 of Lewis Smith. Is losing power, and it is indeed Lewis Smith who's going to pick up the technical defect flag.
But I don't think he might. Is he going to make it back?
I don't think he is.
No.
He's going to try and move the kart to the right-hand side off
is he still
the racing
going?
line. He is.
I think he is.
Heading down the back straight towards South Bank. Is that slow-moving kart. He's off the racing line there, you can see. And he's got a left rear puncture. I think that hub's moved in. You can see there, Gracie. The hub's moved in. The tyre then will have come into contact with the exhaust and got hot, and he's got a puncture.
I think he is going to be able to make it round, though, isn't he? He's going to make it back into the pits.
Yeah, I think he's going to get that back, and I don't think he's going to hamper anybody either towards the end. He's going to pull that kart off. He knows he's got a problem. Left rear puncture, the hub's moved in.
That does not look good.
And the wheel is a pancake.
The wheel is halfway along the axle. That's not good.
Checkered flag is out then. Can Grayson Crawford improve on his time at the moment? 5th place. And no, he can't. Grayson Crawford will start P5 at best. No improvement for Ava Reynolds as she crosses the line in 3rd place. Freddie Ellingham improves on his final lap and jumps up into P3.
Joey Swan might just get the right toe if he sticks behind number 99, River Bell, coming through.
Goes wide and over start finish, just Joey Swan, and that hampers his time, and he drops with no improvement. Still waiting, well, as I say, we're still waiting for Lewis Smith to set a final time, but he's not going to take the checkered flag, unfortunately. He's seen that mechanical flag already and is in the pit lane. So Joey Swan will start tomorrow morning's race from pole position. He'll have stablemate William Collinson alongside him on the front row. The two Swan Motorsport coloured machines will go off P1 and 2. Freddie Ellingham in his first race here at Teesside goes off the inside of row number 2 with Ava Reynolds alongside Grayson Crawford and Lewis Smith on row 3. It'll be River Bell and the late arriving Thomas Harper alongside on row number 4. The track is going to be clear, and for those of you tuning in to our stream tomorrow, we'll have a slightly later start than normal. We'll be live from 10:25 with myself. Unfortunately for you, Gracie, you'll be replaced tomorrow in the commentary.
Yes,
But
I
you've
will
done
be.
a great job.
I'll be doing the nose cones tomorrow.
And we'll have the familiar voice of Tom Butterworth back with us in the commentary box tomorrow. He wasn't able to make it the first round. He had a poorly voice.
Oh.
But
I wouldn't be complaining at that, to be honest.
so, final driver over. Looks like everybody's clear. There will be a little bit of scrutineering, but that will give Ben something to do down there. But yes, it's a later start tomorrow. It's 10:25. We'll be live for you on the Teesside Karting Media YouTube channel. Before you go, make sure you give us a like and a subscribe. Once you've subscribed, then 5 minutes later, you're able to post some comments and get in touch with us here in the commentary box. Gracie, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for
seem
having
like
me.
you've had fun. You're smiling.
Yeah, it was fun. It was definitely
That's
something
always
new.
good. So yes, enjoy your day tomorrow, handing out 5-second
Yes,
penalties.
and now I'll have to go back to the cafe to sort everyone's pizzas.
Penalty for you and a penalty for you, but a pizza for me.
Yes. And everyone in the paddock, if you have ordered any food for the cafe tonight, make sure you are up there on time collecting your things so we do not have to go home at 7 o'clock at night. Thank you.
She's nice, really, when she's not sending out angry messages.
That
to the
wasn't
paddock about
angry.
collecting your food on time. Well, we'll see you all tomorrow for our race day here at Teesside Autodrome. Hope it's as dry as it is today, although if you look at the weather forecast, I don't think we're going to get that lucky. Until tomorrow, I'll be in the commentary box keeping nice and dry. Gracie will be
Outside in the rain.
exactly checking nose cones. But